his girlfriend, Magella, resorted to fiction. They hadn't gone on holiday together, but had bumped into each other abroad. On the other hand, she wasn't sure she could lead her life according to the dictates of a 66-year-old man. She had made her way to a department store in Henry Street. There she had fingered the cheap underwear uncertainly. She had felt woefully self-conscious, as if it was obvious to all that here was a virgin picking racy underwear for a night of premarital sex. Was red too brazen? She'd been confused by all the colours and styles on offer. It was a complicated mix of dread, longing, and, yes, even a little shame that stalked her as she left, clutching the plastic bag that contained the modest black garments. Was she a sensual person? She thought not. Sunk in the cinema seat, she had watched the celluloid hero urgently clearing his desk to make space for the heroine he was about to ravish, but had focused on the items that smashed on the floor, the waste. And when he fed the woman fruit in foreplay, she decided she wouldn't like that. Too messy. Even worse, as the erotic scene unfolded, she wondered how many strawberries you could get into your mouth at once. 2 or 3. In a state of arousal, would you manage a punnet? So she probably wasn't particularly sensual. She wasn't sexy either. But maybe with the right partner, she'd discover hidden depths. She had thought that Joe would manage things, and that she would respond instinctively. She hadn't imagined floating above the bed and eyeing herself as if she wasn't participating in what was going on. Over the bed, there was a poster of a topless model with Margaret Thatcher's head pasted to it. Maggie didn't look like a very sensual woman. She was totally drunk, of course, having downed drink after drink in the pub in order to steel herself. "Relax, Clare," Joe said, in a way that made her clamp even tighter shut. She had begun to think vaguely hysterical things like "Open Sesame, Close Sesame." An image of Ali Baba and his 40 thieves danced across her cortex in balloon-shaped pants. Clare fought rising misery. She wasn't capable of inspiring lust. Clare turned out of the Trinity College gates, onto College Green and up Grafton Street. After she and Joe had finished, she'd wanted to go to the loo, but was afraid that Joe might see the stretch marks on her arse. As a child, she had been a normal size, but after her mother had died, Clare had started to eat more and, of course, expanded. She wasn't sure why. Perhaps she'd been trying to fill a hole. The previous year, when she had been summoned back from Germany, where she'd been working in a cherry factory, she had begun to shrink, and she had lost more weight since. But still she imagined she should wear clothes to disguise her figure rather than emphasize it. She was ashamed that she had been so big. Her wrists had been braceleted with fat. She still ran past mirrors and didn't like studying her body. In the end, with Joe, she had dressed under the covers in a way that was anything but alluring. Later, she had cleaned herself up in the bathroom that Joe and his roommate Matt shared. Joe hadn't seemed to want her to stay. "Matt'll be back soon. He's out with Philip. I wouldn't like him to have it over you." It was nice that he had considered her honour, but for once, questions of reputation mattered little to her. She had hoped that when she slept with Joe, they would be brought closer. She had wanted to lay her head in the hollow of his bare shoulder and wake up beside him. Clare walked on, a little dazed, conscious of a strange elation. "I am no longer a virgin," she thought, making brief eye contact with a man coming out of the Shelburne Hotel. He muttered at the streets and wove on. She felt that a hangover of epic proportions loomed for her too. They were a rarity with Clare. She didn't like the loss of control that alcohol encouraged, and lacked the money to fund a drinking habit. The irony was not lost on her that, thanks to the booze she'd chugged back earlier, the exact details of her deflowering were sketchy. Clare sifted through the events of the night again. She was at the age when negatives could be parlayed into the reverse, so she gradually found herself feeling more positive. Earlier, in the smoky pub, which had been packed with students, tourists, and notables from around town, she had won out.